Now let's get into today's session. From VPN replacement to zero trust reality, how Chemours transforms secure access with Appgate ZTNA. We're thrilled to be joined by two fantastic speakers today. Patu Bose, Cybersecurity Manager at Chemours, who brings firsthand experience leading their ZTNA transformation, and Tristan Cooper, Technical Services Account Manager here at Appgate. With that, let's get started. Tristan, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Ixta, and thank you, Patu, for joining us today.
Sure.
So yeah, let's get started. You want to give a little bit of background about Chemours and what you do on a daily basis?
So Chemours, we are a chemical manufacturing organization, right? That's what we do. That's our core business. Teflon, titanium products, paints and dyes and stuff like that. That's what we do. So we are, again, a chemical manufacturing company. And we are a global company with offices and plants worldwide. And we in cyber and IT support the manufacturing and OT operations and IT operations. That's our role, to support them. But again, we are a chemical manufacturing organization. That is our core business.
Oh yeah. So what critical use cases were you able to help address with Appgate SDP?
So basically, the main thing was we moved away from the traditional VPN. We used to use a traditional VPN with the traditional clients for remote access, and the fact that we had to move away after COVID, like that became a very urgent need for us when everybody went remote and the exposure became very high for us. So that's when we decided to investigate and look at different options. And Appgate absolutely as the Appgate SDP, which is operates on a next-gen security framework, Zero Trust, which would significantly improve our security posture, where only authenticated user would get access to the resources that they are assigned to. So that made our choice very simple, going towards Appgate.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure that there was a bunch of other access providers that you looked at. I mean, said that there was the the urgency for it, but I'm sure you still did your due diligence. Could you talk a bit more about that process and what you went through?
Sure. So it was kind of very involved in a long journey. We started with an RFP process where we sent the RFP over to 9 vendors. Based on the responses, we shortlisted them to 5. And then from that 5, we did a POC with 2 of the vendors, one of them being Appgate. And the reason why we chose Appgate after all this, I mean, this process took us over 5 to 6 months going through this, whole shortlisting and POC, and finally getting to Appgate was about a 6-month long process. So we did a very intensive search, and the thing that sold us to Appgate was the fact that it uses SPA, that single packet authentication, which is authenticate first and then get your network resources, which was very important. It reduces the attack surface, right? Almost the possibility of DDoS was almost taken away, and we also saw that how easy it was to deploy. When we did the deployment in our dev environment, we were very pleasantly surprised at the ease at which we were able to deploy and get the policies and entitlements done and have the users begin testing. So that was really something that impressed all of us.
That's great to hear. Are you able to go a bit more into the whole deployment experience? Like, how long did it take? How long before you started to see value from the solution? I know you guys did your due diligence, but again, you were trying to go quick. So were we able to help facilitate that?
So yes, so on the one side, we had the dev where we were, onboarding users, having them test, but we basically were able to, figure out all the kinks and the little things that we needed to do in dev. So when we rolled it out in prod, it was very smooth because we knew exactly what to do. The only difference in prod was that we were using physical appliances. Like for dev, all our locations had virtual appliances. No problems there. But in prod, we use physical appliances again. But no issues there. Just shipped them over, seeded them. It worked right out of the box. No issues at all. And we were also helped by the Appgate tech support. Whenever we would run into some minor issues of some devices not seeding or whatever, they would jump on the call with us, helped us immediately. So that was very very simple, really. Once you get the hang of it, it's really simple. I shouldn't say that I'd lose my job, but it was very very simple once you figured it out. And also the fact that it integrated with our technology stack, right? We are in Microsoft Shop. Azure is our IDP, like we have Azure SSO. So it integrates with Azure SSO. And the thing was that, how seamlessly it let the users who were already signed on for, say, some other O365 app, like they were automatically, they would automatically be logged into Appgate, right? So that's again something that we really appreciated, that the simplicity and the ease of logging into the Appgate client was superb. And like I said, it was seamless. The users, all they needed to know, all we told them ever was, just click on the client, log in, and then you're good to go. That's it. Do your work.
That's
very
great.
simple, very easy. The deployment was really that blew us away. How simply we could deploy around the globe.
I'm sure everyone can appreciate an easy end user experience without having to deal with a bunch of questions and tickets and all that fun stuff.
Tell me about it. Like that is yeah. And we are like Chemours users are notorious, so we really appreciated the ease of deployment and also training them. So our help desk, and that was very very smooth.
Excellent. So with that end user experience and the ease of it and the extensibility of all the integrations and stuff, right, what about the ROI? Like, have you noticed any operational or performance improvements since implementing SDP?
So yes, absolutely. So from the traditional VPN to Appgate, right, the performance improvement, like we could see, like it's like, I mean, just to the naked eye, you could see visibly the time to access a certain resource was like 25-30% better immediately. That was like, that reduced the volume of the complaints immediately, right? The fact that they had better performance, the users had much better performance than what they had before, was something that, that blew them away. Absolutely. So the performance factor was number one, right? And the complaints, the tickets, the volume of tickets that we had for access, for performance, all this other things, reduced by almost 80%. Wow. So again, that for us was a big win, right? And like early, like before, when we were on the traditional VPN, for a simple access request, for a new access request, it would take us about, say, 45 minutes to an hour to get that implemented, because it was two teams working on that. One was the VPN team, the other was the firewall team, and they would have to provision that access, right? With Appgate, it's now a single team that does the work. And literally, like we get a ticket, if it's an urgent request, the it's provisioned within minutes. So that, I mean, is huge for us. So what that did is that we are now able to free up resources to do, other strategic activities that are needed. So like our whole team, like the team that was set up for support when we were back in the old VPN days, like that team like completely, so we could like separate them now, so we could use them for other things, just than attending and closing tickets and attending to requests and stuff like that. With Appgate, this part of the provisioning, it is so fast that unless you use it, you wouldn't know it. That's the thing. So that helped tremendously.
Oh, I'm sure your other departments appreciate all that speed and everything too.
Oh yes, and they have mentioned it, like the speed with which we can now attend to their tickets and close tickets. It's not just attending; it's just closing the tickets. It's really helped.
Now you've mentioned the ease of the deployment and everything like that, but you're a global company. You had to have some IT and network infrastructure complexities, and
Right.
some things you had to overcome. Could you describe some of those?
So being a global company and a manufacturing company, the safety and security always came at the top, but we at sometimes to facilitate some things, we had to kind of circumvent certain things and provide access to users or technicians. That would always keep up at night, knowing that we had to do it to provide that access. But now with Appgate, the access is universal, right? The process is similar. It is universal access. If you need access, you go through the same steps. There is no backdooring in at all, not needed anymore. So with any OT environment, you will know that like we follow the Purdue model, right? So there are layers to which we can provide access, and then everything else is local to the site and stuff like that, right? So with Appgate, we were able to maintain the integrity of the Purdue model, right? That is important. We were like, we were not circumventing anything. We were not backdooring anything. So that, again, for people like us who are in cybersecurity, that helped us, to sleep at night, because we knew that there is no hanky panky going on. There's that it's as designed. The access is as designed. We will know when you access something because it is completely identity driven. It is we can now make it granular to a point where you get access to one particular resource over one particular port, nothing more. And then we can restrict access by region, by country, by location. So all that has helped us tremendously on our day-to-day operations, and the fact that we no longer have kind of ifs and buts about granting access to people and resources. So that's big.
That's great. And I know you mentioned that everyone is now doing access the same way. So that's got to be easier on your team. You don't have to keep any special notes about any, few people with special access or anything like that.
Nope, nothing doing. And, the just-in-time thing of Appgate, right? If somebody does need a special access, they, they send us a ticket, we help them out. Like they say, okay, so we need to get into this for just 2 hours. Okay, so we set it up for 2 hours. It gets blown up in 2 hours on its own. So it is awesome for the just-in-time factor of it, right? You can almost literally have the guy on the call sit with you, and while you're talking, you provision the access, right? So there's it is very visible to us, the logging, etc., right? And the fact that we can ship it to Sentinel, we have playbooks set up there in Sentinel. We are alerted every time we see something. So all that is excellent. So again, like you said earlier, like it integrated seamlessly with our technology stack, whether it's IDP, and we recently moved our IGA to Savient. We had Microsoft Identity Manager. We moved to Savient, and I mean, we've tested, worked seamlessly, so no issues there.
Excellent. And I'm sure, like you mentioned the just-in-time access, especially like in an emergency situation,
Right.
and you can definitely even restrict that even more using, the country code for their location, and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
just make it very granular, so you don't even have to worry about somebody else trying to take something in an emergency situation.
Right, exactly. And the fact that, like you said, like the access is granular to a point of, say, an IP address and a port, right? That's it. You are limited to that. With, the older VPN thing was that you could touch everything. Now, the fact whether you have access to that device is a different story, whether you have credentials, but that's a different story. Here, you cannot touch a device on the network unless you have the entitlement and the policy with the entitlement. So that's perfect. That works for us.
Excellent. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about just your entire Zero Trust journey, where you started, where you are now, and where you hope to go in the future. Can you give us a bit of insight on that?
So Zero Trust journey, when we started, like we were on a traditional VPN, right? The old-fashioned IPsec tunnels and VPN clients, and that stuff. So from there to where we are now is a huge step forward. Like from a cyber perspective, we were definitely able to reduce the attack surface. Like, I don't know, by percentage point, I don't know, 90%. I don't know. Nobody is absolutely 100% safe these days, but we were able to get to that part where, from the old, the very, the broad policies that you had to have for the traditional VPNs, to this absolutely granular policy where it is identity based, right? It is assigned to the person or a group or a role, and you can, like I was talking, like you can be as granular as one single IP, one single port. So that, when you think about this, that coming from the traditional VPN to where we are now, to this granular level of access, the just-in-time thing, the fact that you can control it based on the person's location, country, etc. So that, I mean, I like there is no comparison. It's like apples to watermelon, not even oranges, right? And then we just upgraded to 645, right? And we also enrolled into ZTP. Thank you, Cody. So we'll start, which I think will add value and will definitely make us more efficient. So we are definitely looking forward to, getting more into ZTP.
All right. Is there anything specifically with ZTP that you're looking forward to diving into?
So I think it'll make us more efficient, right? So I mean, I need to like dive more into it. We just got it enabled. We just hooked up to your ZTP. So I need to find out more. I think while we are looking into it, the next month we have our monthly call where we'll do a deep dive into that more. I think we need to, get your expertise on that to see where all we can, tighten it up, make ourselves more efficient. So we are looking forward to that.
Excellent. Yeah, going over the roadmap with our product team is always fun and interesting, and we'll be sure to point out all of the fun new things that are coming with ZTP, and we'll get you
awesome. Looking
all the
forward to
best. Yeah. So, along with the global footprint and everything like that, you're obviously in a bunch of different locations.
Yes.
Did any of those prove more difficult
China,
to
of
get set up?
China, the Great Firewall. So yeah, I mean, it's so unpredictable. So we finally had to use a very expensive ISP who they have special relations with the Chinese authorities, and traffic from their ISPs, their ISP, that ISP is like they have better access to the outside world than others. So we did all of that. But yeah, I mean, other than China, we didn't have any issues anywhere. It was straightforward. Like, get the gateways in there, and you're off to the races. That's all. Gateways, seed the gateways, you're off to races. That was as simple as that. But with China, even with the ISP, we run into issues where suddenly one day nobody can access Azure. O365 is gone because the Great Firewall just decided to block it one fine day. And you can't do anything about it. You just sit and you wait. So China is a special case. Other than, I mean, yeah. So the way we got around to it finally was, using using a special ISP, if you will.
All right. But even then, from the Appgate side, it was deploy the same and just the special ISP, right?
That was it. That was it. Like once, like it was like Appgate. It had nothing to do with Appgate. It was all about the Great Firewall and how they would block traffic. But once that was taken care of, the Appgate deployment was the same. It's the same exact process. Hook it up, seed it, you're off to the races.
So it's obvious that you definitely like all the improvements that we've done and everything like that, but what could you say you love about SDP and the overall relationship with Appgate?
So with SDP, the thing has been it's been very stable, right? So kudos to that. It has been very stable. I remember in the early days, like when we were 5.4 days, right? Like we had a little hiccup here and then with the upgrades, but once we crossed the 5.6 or the 5.7 level, it's been smooth sailing, no issues at all, really, with the upgrades, and we have always had a great support from the Appgate support folks, be it professional services, be it the tech support team. Whenever we have had so many critical issues, you guys have jumped on the call with us, helped us around. So, but the product itself has been very stable. No issues once it was deployed, and it's been running. Touch wood. So no issues with that, and the support we have had has been excellent. Whether it's via ticket or a simple phone call, or I have reached out to Cody. Cody has gotten hold of people. So like the earlier upgrades we would do is we would get a hold of Cody and say, Cody, hey, we would need somebody from Appgate to look over our shoulder while we are doing the upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
So we would always get somebody. A shout out to Angel. He has helped us with a couple of those upgrades. So excellent job. And within 3 years, I mean the number of upgrades that has happened shows that you guys are constantly working on improvement and adding features. So 6.4.5, I think by the time we went on to 6.4.5, we are seeing 6.5 is now out. So we'll give it a break now. We'll hold off for a while. I know 7.0 is coming, so we'll wait for 7.
Well, yeah, you mentioned those couple of hiccups back in like 5.5, and yeah, as you said, we do put out builds regularly. So, I mean, you're a long-standing customer, so that sounds like you've had no issues for the last couple of years.
Nope, none. The
That's
upgrades
great.
has been smooth. Absolutely. Just downloaded the files and run the script, sit and watch.
Excellent. I always love to hear the feedback, and as you know, we always try and elicit. And so anytime you do see something you think we could do a little bit better or a little improvement, you know, we're always receptive, and we love getting that feedback. So it's good to hear that all the improvements are working out.
Yep, indeed, yes.
Now, looking ahead, like, are there any additional use cases or opportunities or expansions you could think of where you might leverage SDP in your organization?
So we like SDP right now for us, this is our remote access solution, right? So this is deployed enterprise-wide. There's no single location that is not connected, via Appgate. So we are completely rolled out, if you will. Appgate is on every single global locations that we have: Europe, Asia, Latin America, US. There's none left, if you will. So it's only like, it's like if there are acquisitions in the future, obviously, again, it will be Appgate. So yeah, I mean, why try to fix something that does not need fixing for us? So I mean, we are very happy with the product. I don't know, are you guys also going towards secure web gateway? I know you guys are partnering with Menlo for that, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing some work with Menlo. We're also doing some work with Island.io for the enterprise browser.
Yep. We were chatting with Island.io. Yep. So yeah, so both are interesting, because that is another area that we are looking at to secure browser-based access. So yep.
Well, we'll have to look forward to those conversations and see where we can help improve everything and work on your other zero trust endeavors in the future. And then we're already going to be getting on the line for ZTP, so you'll be able to hear all of the adapters and all the stuff we have available there and what should be coming down the line in the near future. And then
if we can get started up with the basics, and then we can roll with it. So yeah, I mean, looking forward to, we will start looking at it, the documentation, and on our monthly call we'll do some more deep dive with you.
Oh yeah, and the linking up to ZTP is just like everything else. We try and make it as simple as possible. So we're actually able to get that initial connection for you, so you can take care of all the base services in, I don't know, about 5 minutes.
Oh,
so it's a very quick and easy process. It's great. So we're trying to make sure that you can leverage all of our security options and all of the improvements we make in the easiest way possible. So all of that simple implementation you're talking about, we're trying to do everything we can to get that even more simple and easier to implement. So it's just frees up as much time as possible for you and your team.
Awesome. Very good.
All right. Do you have any final comments or anything else that you wanted to just throw out there for everyone?
No. Treat us like your number one client. But no, kidding. So no, I mean, it's been good so far. The partnership has been good. We appreciate all the attention and help that we've got from you guys. So hope to keep it going, and hope to keep growing with you guys. So
yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you guys so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go and how else we can help improve your security posture going forward.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you to our special guest, Batu from Chemours, and to Tristan as well for this very insightful session.